Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. To you, I say Shalom. Lord willing, this blessing is edifying to the flock of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. This is Sirach, chapter 2, or the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 6. Believe in him, and he will help thee, and order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and everlasting joy and mercy. But the point I wanted to talk about, the subject of this lesson is our reward not failing, all right? Lord willing, we continue to put in the work that's required of us. Lord willing, we keep having the faith. Lord willing, we keep following the law, statutes, and commandments. Lord willing, we keep the spirit, man. All right? If we keep all these things, our reward is not going to fail. And that's according to the scriptures, man. All right? Let me read Sirach chapter 2, verse 8 again. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. All right? This is Hebrews 6. And I'm going to jump down to verse 10. For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. Alright? Most High is not going to forget the works that we're doing. And these works that we're doing is out of love, right? The warnings we're giving our people is out of love. Because what does the scripture say? Open rebuke is better than secret love. So you can say, oh, I love my people this, I love my people that, I'll die for my people, whatever. But if you're not, telling them, correcting them in the ways that they're going, correcting their actions, correcting them according to the scriptures, all right, not according to your own vain opinion, correcting them according to the scriptures. If you're not doing that, then you really don't love your people, man. All right, just like you see a child walking across the street. If you don't correct them and tell them to look both ways before they cross the street, you low-key hoping that the child gets hit because you didn't correct them. So if the child gets hit, the blood will technically be on your hands, right? Because you've seen what they were doing was wrong. And instead of correcting them, you just let them continue to do what they do. Now, when a child gets hit by a car or a truck, whatever, crossing the street because they didn't look both ways, yeah, the blood is going to be on your hands, man. All right, and you really don't love that child if you're not correcting them. The same thing. If you really don't love your people if you're not correcting them, man. All right, I talk about so-called Black Lives Matter a lot because a lot of people that march with Black Lives Matter, they'll do it. They only do it. Me personally, what I think, they only do it for vainglory. Right? They'll go out to the protest to be seen of men. They put it on social media to be seen of men. Right? They don't really love their people because what happens? You let outsiders, you let other nations infiltrate the message. You let homosexuality infiltrate the message. You let the three leaders of so-called Black Lives Matter are three lesbian women. And what do? In their mission statement, it talks about breaking apart the nuclear family, man. Taking the man out of the household, man. And that's their message. That's their plan. All right? So they cannot say they love their people if they're trying to destroy their people. But I'm getting off topic. I'm talking about the rewards that are promised to the saints of the Lord, man. All right, let me read Hebrews 6 and 10 once more. Hebrews 6 and verse 10. For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name, and that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister. All right, the ministry is out of love, man. All right, and we do this work because we love the Lord, man. We love the name, man. That's why we praise it, man. We give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, man. All right. Let me jump over to Salaki. I don't know why I did that. Again, but no matter who you are in this truth, man, if you're in this truth and you're fighting with sincerity, man, you're gonna get your reward, man. All right, because for a long period of time, the decree went out in Great Millstone to not let any brothers cross over. That decree was lifted recently, so even still, there are a lot of members that follow GMS, and myself included, that are not officially a part of the body, but we are still a part of the body. We're still a part of the doctrine. We still believe the doctrine. We still believe the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. We understand that the Great Millstone does have the 100% truth, and we understand that the elders and the apostles of the Great Millstone have been set up by the Lord, man. All right, so we understand these things, even though we're not on the side, or if, even though we're not officially a part of the camp of Great Millstone. All right, we're still going to get a reward for being a part of the body. All right, because even little parts of the body are still important. Right? Yeah, you might cut your fingernails off, but they serve a purpose. Fingernails serve a purpose. All right, no matter how small or minuscule the body part is, it serves a purpose. Your pinky toe serves a purpose. Even something as tiny as blood cells, they serve purposes, man. You might think it's a tiny part of the body, but do without it, and you're gonna realize how much you need it when you didn't have it. All right, and this is the same way with the men of the Lord, right? Lord willing, we're part of that number. As long as we continue to faith, continue to fight, we're gonna get a reward too, man. All right. This is First Samuel. I'm gonna start at verse. I'm just gonna read through it real quick, Lord willing. This First Samuel 30 and starting from the top. And it came to pass when David and his men were come to Ziklag on the third day that the Amalekites had invaded the south and Ziklag and smitten Ziklag and burned it with fire, and had taken the women captives that were therein. They slew not any, either great or small, but carried them away and went on their way. So the Amalekites raided the place, man. All right, and they burned down the village and they took the women captive, but they didn't harm anybody, right? All right, verse 3. So David and his men came to the city, and behold, it was burned with fire, and their wives and their sons and their daughters were taken captives. So they took everybody captive, not just the women, right? They took everybody captive, and most likely to put them all in captivity. All right, verse 4. Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep. Because you gotta understand, people's whole family was taken from them, man. All right, sons, daughters, wives, their whole family was taken from them. All right, and the city was burnt down. So you gotta understand, David and his men were going through it when they came and seen this sight, man. And this is another reason why Amalek is gonna get it too. All right, verse 5. And David's two wives were taken captives, and Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and Abigail the wife of Nabal the Carmelite. And David was greatly distressed, for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his sons and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in the Lord his power. All right, David didn't faint. All right, go back to Sirach chapter 2. And verse 12. Woe be to the fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore he shall not be defended. King David ain't faint. Even though he seen the village burned down, everybody's family taken captive, he didn't faint. He put his trust in the Lord. You see, it says, but David encouraged himself in the Lord his power. Let's go into this word encouraged. Because courage means bravery, and N, I believe, means to put in. All right, so let's see what it says in the blue letter. All right, to strengthen, prevail, harden, be strong, become strong, be courageous, be firm, grow firm, be resolute, be sore. All right, he came to the resolution that he's gonna call upon the Lord and see what he says to do, man. All right, 1 Samuel 30:7. And David said to Abiathar the priest, Ahimelech's son, I pray thee, bring me hither an ephod. And Abiathar brought thither the ephod to David. Let's Google what ephod is. Actually, it's a linen apron worn in ancient Hebrew rites, especially a vestment for the high priest. The ephod will usually have the 12 stones of the tribes in it. All right, each stone representing a part of the tribe. All right, so basically David threw on his garment. All right, and a side note, these garments are like how do I say this? These garments are like they're like I don't want to say costumes, but they're like superhero outfits, right? The Black Panther has his suit, Superman has his suit, the men of the Lord have their suit, man. This garment, and a way that proves it is that when you throw the garment on, people don't recognize you. You might see people that you recognize in the world on the highways and byways, but they don't recognize you. But as soon as you take the garment off, they recognize you from a mile away. All right, it's really like a hidden identity type of thing, but it's also there's power behind it, man. It's power behind the garments. All right. Verse 1 Samuel 30:8, and David inquired at the Lord, saying, shall I pursue after this troop? Shall I overtake them? And he answered him, pursue, for thou shalt surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. So the Lord answered David and said, yo, go after them, and without fail, guaranteed, you're going to get everybody back, man. All right, verse 9. So David went, he and the 600 men that were with him, and they came to the brook Besor, where those that were left behind stayed. But David pursued, he and 400 men, for 200 abode behind, which were so faint that they could not go over the brook Besor. All right. So David's 600 men came to the brook, but 200 of the men were so tired that they couldn't cross the brook. All right. So 200 men stayed behind. So David took his 400 men and continued to pursue the Amalekites. All right, verse 11, and they found an Egyptian in the field and brought him to David and gave him bread, and he did eat, and they made him drink water. And they gave him a piece of cake of figs and 2 clusters of raisins. And when he had eaten, his spirit came again to him, for he had eaten no bread nor drunk any water 3 days and 3 nights. So they find an Egyptian in the field, starving, going through it. They gave him some food, some drink, and, his spirit came back to him, like life came back to him, right? Verse 13, and David said unto him, to whom belongest thou, and whence art thou? And he said, I am a young man of Egypt, servant to an Amalekite, and my master left me, because 3 days agone I fell sick. So this Egyptian fell sick, and the Amalekite just left his ass, all right? Another reason why he left him is because Amalek don't give a fuck about anybody but himself, not even himself, but also because they just came up upon new servants, so they could leave one behind. Right? They thought they came up upon new servants when they invaded and took all the wives and children. 1 Samuel 30:14, we made an invasion upon the south of the Cherethites, and upon the coast which belongeth to Judah, and upon the south of Caleb, and we burned Ziklag with fire. So he was there when they burned Ziklag with fire. And David said to him, canst thou bring me down to this company? And he said, swear to me by God that thou wilt neither kill me nor deliver me into the hands of my master, and I will bring thee down to this company. So David asked him, can you take me to the men that your former master, the people that you were with? And the Egyptian said, if you spare my life, I guarantee I'll bring you down to them. All right, verse 16, and when he had brought him down, behold, they were spread abroad upon all the earth, eating and drinking and dancing, because of all the great spoil that they had taken out of the land of the Philistines and out of the land of Judah. All right. So they were celebrating. They were in the midst of celebration. They were spread upon the earth. That means, they were in their tents, in their camps. They were just, partying, man, all everywhere. Probably just random drunk bodies laying around, man. All right, verse 17. And David smote them from the twilight even until the even of the next day. So David spent 24 hours or 12 hours whooping their ass, man. And there escaped not a man of them, save 400 young men, which rode upon camels and fled. All right, so let's go into twilight. I think twilight goes into sunrise. Oh, twilight, evening twilight or morning twilight. All right, so read this again to see what it says. It's 1 Samuel 30:17, and David smote them from the twilight even unto the evening of the next day. Yeah, so it was the next day. So he spent at least 12 hours whooping their ass, man. From the sunrise to the sunset, because the sunset marks the next day. All right. Verse 18, and David recovered all that the Amalekites had carried away, and David rescued his 2 wives. And there was nothing lacking to them, neither small nor great, neither sons nor daughters, neither spoil nor anything that they had taken to them. David recovered all. All right, so again, like the Lord said, pursue without fail, you're going to recover all. And just like the Lord promised, David recovered all. And David took all the flocks and the herds which they drave before those other cattle and said, this is David's spoil. All right. Now, this is the point I wanted to get to because, again, this is about your reward, man. No matter small or great in this body, man, you're going to get your reward. All right. Now, this is not talking about people that fall out the truth, right? If people that drop the plow, because, again, if you fall out the truth and drop the plow, that's a going back to Sirach chapter 2, where it says, woe to him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore he shall not be defended. Sirach 2 and 14, woe unto you that has lost patience, and what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? All right, again, that's people that follow the truth, people that drop the plow. Because what are you going to do when the Lord visits you? All right, King David had 200 men that stayed behind because they were tired, but they were still part of the army. All right. Verse 21, 1 Samuel 30 and 21. And David came to the 200 men, which were so faint that they could not follow David, whom they had made also to abide at the brook of Besor. And they went forth to meet David, and to meet the people that are with him. And David came near to the people, and he saluted them. Then answered all the wicked men and men of Belial, of those that went with David, and said, because they went not with us, we will not give them aught of the spoil that we have recovered, save every man his wife and his children, that they may lead them away and depart. So basically, some of the men of the 400 that went with David are saying, these 200 men that stayed behind, they're not getting shit except for their families back. And once they get them back, they could leave. The spoil belongs to us. All right, verse 23. Then David said, ye shall not do so, my brethren, with that which the Lord hath given us, who hath preserved us, and delivered the company that came against us into our hand. For who will hearken unto you in this matter? But as his part is that goeth down to the battle, so shall his part be that tarrieth by the stuff. They shall part alike. All right. Now, I brought this out because I brought out the example of members of GMS that are not officially members of GMS. All right, because they haven't crossed over yet. All right, just because you haven't crossed over yet doesn't mean you're not going to get your reward if you continue in this fight, man. If you continue to be a part of this army of the Lord, man. All right, because again, King David has 600 men, 400 men went to the battle, and 200 men stayed behind. Not because they were fearful, not because they didn't want to fight. It's because they were tired. They couldn't even cross the brook. So if you're tired and you go into a battle, you're not good. You're not of any use. It's like if a player is injured, he shouldn't be forced to play if he's injured. Because no matter if he's a superstar talent, he's going to be a hindrance for the other members of the team. All right? So, just because you're not, on the same side doesn't mean you're not a part of the same battle. It doesn't mean you're not a part of the same war, man. All right? It's like David said, all right? Just like the people that went down to the battle, the 200 people that stayed behind still had a use, man. They stayed behind and guarded the stuff, all right? Because what would have happened if all 600 left? Another nation, another army could have came and took the stuff that was left behind. Yeah, they would have recovered their wives and their children and their families and their stuff, but they would have left behind things too, all right? All right, verse 25. I'm gonna end it with this. I'm gonna end 1 Samuel with this. 1 Samuel 30 and 25. And it was so from that day forward that he made it a statute and an ordinance for Israel unto this day. All right. Now King David is gonna rule in the kingdom as well. He's gonna be under Yahushua, but he's gonna have rulership as well, man. All right. Now, and there's some men of the Lord on this side too that's gonna rule in the kingdom of heaven as well. They won't have supreme leadership over Yahushua or King David or over Yahweh, but they will be given lands and things to be over, man. All right, it's like in the scriptures it's written. Yeah, you got King David, but King David had captains. You know, men of the Lord had governors. It's like Yahweh Shai is gonna have governors and captains over his armies and so on and so forth, man. I'm gonna get one more. I'm gonna wrap it up. Lord willing. This is Matthew chapter 20. I'm gonna start from the top. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace. And he said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way. Again he went out about the 6th and 9th hour and did likewise. And about the 11th hour he went out and found others standing idle, and saith unto them, Why stand ye here all the day idle? They say unto him, Because no man hath hired us. He saith unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that ye shall receive. All right, go put in the work, and you're gonna receive your reward, man. All right, verse 8. So when the evening was come, the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, Call the laborers and give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first. All right. And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. So the laborers that were only working an hour, they got their penny first. They got paid first. All right. Verse 10. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more, and they likewise received every man a penny. And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house, saying, These last have wrought but 1 hour. Wrought means worked. So these last have worked but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden of the heat of Slakia, which have borne the burden and heat of the day. But he answered one of them and said, Friend, do I do thee no wrong? Slakia, friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst now not thou agree with me for a penny? Take that thine is, and go thy way. I will give unto this last, even as unto thee. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with mine own? Is thine eye evil, because I am good? So shall the last, Salakia, so the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few chosen. Alright? Now we're coming into the time of the 11th hour. The last of the elect is either waking up or have been woken up, and we're in that final hour. All right, so you think the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that have been out in the highways and byways 30 plus years are going to say to members of the elect that just woke up, probably a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month? What do you think they're going to say? They shouldn't be on the chariots, right? They haven't been out for 30 years? No, man. They're not going to be like that, man. Lord willing, they're not like that. But I highly doubt they'll be like that, man. They're going to be rejoicing, man, because they're in the chariots. They're going to be rejoicing because the kingdom is finally here, man. All right? Just because you're little, just because you're last, doesn't mean your reward is going to fail. As long as you keep up the fight, man. As long as you stay in the armies, stay in this battle, man. This spiritual warfare, man. All right? Because scriptures also says Satan desired to sift you like wheat, man. But I prayed that you kept the faith, roughly paraphrasing. All right. Actually, let me get that. I'm going to wrap it up, Lord willing. This is Luke chapter 22. You know, you got to put the red letter on. I'm going to start at verse 28. Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father hath appointed me unto me. All right, this is the reward. Verse 30, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. All right, that's another part of this army, man. Because if you're in an army, you're not fighting an army by yourself, man. You're not fighting a war by yourself, man. You got brethren on the sides with you, man. What's that? What's that term? Brothers in arms, something like that. Slovakia. I'm butchering that. But yeah, we're not in this alone, man. All right, we got brothers in this truth, man. We got Yahweh Shai, man. We got the Lord with us, man. All right. What did King David encourage himself in when he seen his wives were taken, when he seen the men's wives were taken, their children taken? He encouraged himself in the Lord, man, and he got everything back, plus more, because he got the spoils from the Philistines that the Amalekites took too. All right. Again, we're about to get 100-fold if we keep up this fight, man. All right, our reward is coming, as long as we don't fail, man. But I'm gonna wrap it up with that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, a great millstone that rule well. And peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. Until next time, I want to say Shalom and Abad Babal.